Hey, what's up? It's DJ. Today I'm going to show you how to take your TLX Phoenix from this to this. And all you got to do is add these attachments. After a 4-month hiatus, 82 Studio is back with the TLX Rear Fenders Pack and Front Bumpers Pack. These mods add attachable bumpers and rear fenders so that you're able to customize the TLX Phoenix and other trucks once they get support the way that you would like. You may know that the TLX Phoenix, though it's got some pretty cool stuff in here, it's missing some of the options that you were used to seeing in Farming Simulator 19 and 22. There's only a couple different front bumpers, although the rear does have quite a few different options. Goodness gracious, had to go all the way, scroll all the way down to it. So there are a bunch of options for the rear. However, it's still missing quite a few, and that is where the rear fenders come in, because there's a bunch in here. Simply choose a bumper that you like the TLX Aussie bumper, the heavy duty, or the bull haul bumper. Each one comes with different configurations as far as the setups go. You've even got a winch option, width markers, additional lighting, chicken lights, and even a transport cover. So if you accidentally see this, or say accidentally, you can like pick it up, move it around and stuff like that regardless, but you can have it like this if you wanted to have different bumpers for different seasons. You can take them off, put them in the back of your shed, and then load them back up when you're ready to go. There's even colors, so you can change up all of the colors on here however you like. Once you found the one that you like, simply grab a hold of it, stick it in front of the truck, and click attach. And boom! There you go. You're all set, ready to go. That's it. Now, for whatever reason, it's not exactly where you want it. Maybe I want this to be a little further back. Well, we can easily do that just by nudging it. There are buttons in here which simply allows us to move things around. You can even slam it straight into the truck, which makes a few things disappear, but you still get the lights there in the front. I think that's kind of neat. Naturally, there's height adjustments as well, so you can raise it up to boom, 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 boom. All's good. So whenever we get full support for other trucks, you're good to go. Rear bumpers are kind of the same as, say, bumpers. Rear fenders, you kind of just come through, choose the ones that you like. You got chicken lights, a transport cover here as well. You can use a pallet forks to lift these up, but as you saw, they are liftable. But one thing that this has that the front doesn't is the Keep TLX Truck Rear Lights or Substitute TLX Truck Rear Lights. Now, what that's meaning is, around here, you can see we've got some tail lights on here, but not all of these bumpers have rear tail lights. I think this is the only one that actually does. There are plenty of options though, so you can go through and add your chicken lights and things like that, but depending on which one you go for, you may want to keep the rear tail lights on your TLX or have them removed. For example, this one, I've got these tail lights on here, but maybe I wanted the new ones to look pretty cool. So we choose the version that does remove the tail lights, and whenever we come in here to attach, the tail lights remove, boom, and now we get the new ones. Haha. But what would it look like if we keep the rear tail lights for this one? Well, that's what you get. It becomes a bit of a jumbled mess because not only do you have this new bumper, but you also have the old bumper as well. So you've got the flaps hanging down back there, the lights hiding behind it. It doesn't look great, but other bumpers would look fantastic with this setup. So my goal today is to show you exactly how everything's going to work. I think by now you probably got a pretty good idea, but as always, like I do, I love mods, so I want to show you the customization options and show you some of the neat things that you could do, which ones you may want to have one setup versus another that may help you out. And we're going to start with the front bumper. So in here we have the Aussie bumper. This is actually the only one that comes with the transport cover on by default, and it might be a little bit awkward, so I would definitely recommend turning that off, at least while you're customizing. So with this one, you can add a bull bar setup if you would like. Then we have some additional lighting options which could be added, and some of them have turn signals in them, and some of them have that kind of like four-way rounded opening. If you go without the bull bar on there, you can see we still get the lights that are added, so you may want to please be careful with where you put those, because it will put them on there regardless. So with this one, maybe just put that on there. Yeah. Chicken lights as well, which could be added around towards the very bottom. Main color option, I'm just going to change this to blue so you can see what is the main color. And then the design color, we'll change this to red just so you can see exactly what we'll be changing. so you could choose your own. Now, we do have the full color palette from 82 Studio, so that is great news. I do not have the unlimited color mod installed. All of this is done by default. Then we get into the heavy duty bumper, and this one actually has a lot more options. The one thing I would say to watch out for is the rubber protection. If you put that on, your decals will not show. So if you're putting everything on and then you get down to decals, they're not going to show. So I'm going to just not have the rubber protector on there, but you can see what it looks like. Now, we'll go with the bull bar because that's a great place to start. Then you've got width markers, which are added around towards the side. We'll turn those off and back on again, just so you can kind of see what's up. Rubber protection, we've already talked about. Additional lights, these could be added around towards the front. You've also got some turn signals, whether that be on the side or all the way around inside of it. And then you've kind of got the modern look for it. Those are pretty cool. The chicken lights, these are added. These are at the top of the bumper this time. Mud guards, which could be added to drops down towards the bottom. And then we have the transport cover, of course, and then decals. So you get some warning signs there. You've got the oversize, road train, or nothing. Then, of course, we have colors. We'll just stick with the blue and the red for now. So here's your main color, and then we'll go down to design color. There's actually another one here as well. So we have the color decal 1 and 2. So if we go back up and we add these decals, so here you go. We'll just go with the oversize here. If we go with this, we'll change it to green. You can see the background on that changes to green, and we'll change this to orange. You can see that changes our text to orange. And just to show you what it looks like on all of them, yes, it changes all of the decals. Lastly, we have the TLX bull hauler bumper. This one has a configuration of standard or winch, so the way that it looks is going to be the way that it comes. But it is very cool that we have that winch option on there. It is an 8-ton winch, not insane, but it's still pretty darn good. With markers, you can add those. These are just going to be added from the sides that go up like that, and we do get some amber lighting on top of those. As far as the additional lights go, we got the classic set, little turn signals, side mounted turn signals. Then we go for the modern, and then added down towards the side there as well. I imagine most people are going to go with this one. This one's actually my favorite though, right there. So that's going to be with turn signals or just modern. So you can go with either one. Chicken lights. Now we do have a couple options here. So these are going to be little amber lights added around towards the side, or you can go with the chicken lights added there, or do both, which is very cool. Then, of course, we have our transport cover there. Main color, of course, blue as per usual. And then we'll go for the red for the design color. This is very similar to our Aussie bumper. However, it's a little bit different down towards the bottom. The top portion is, again, similar, not exact though. So I wanted to also show you the turn signals, how those are going to work. You can see down in there, we've got that turn signal marker, and it is pretty darn bright. So that is very, very nice. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to be rocking and rolling with too much. If I go with my 4-ways, yes, both show, but nothing in the middle shows because, of course, well, those aren't markers, so they're not supposed to be doing anything. We already showed you how to raise and lower this up, so there's no point in doing that again. And, of course, it is a winch. It may look like it comes from interesting places, but that is only because the winch, when you kind of get up under here, you can see where it is mounted. So it's going to show probably a little bit higher than where it comes. And you see right there, it's showing at the very, very tip top. But all the way around, it is a winch at the end of the day. And if we just leave it sitting, it's kind of tweaking out a little bit. But once it settles right in. So that is that. I think there's a couple winch mods in the game that are a little bit iffy. This one's working just fine though. So all is good. Now, let's make our way to the backside. So all of these are going to take the place of whatever you put there. So as we did with the front bumper, where the front bumper actually takes the place of the bumper, you can see we've got a bumper on there, and then the bumper deletes, and the new one pops on. We're going to see the exact same thing happening for the back, because you can see there, our lights disappear, and then even the front parts right in front of those first set of rear tires, that disappears, and this adds on the new set. So all of these are going to do that. So just ignore whatever's on the truck if you're going to have it replace stuff. Now, as we jump in, we've got the full Fender number 1 setup. This does come default with chicken lights, which is very, very cool. Love that. Transport cover, of course. We've got the Keep TLX truck rear lights or substitute. Of course, those are pretty obvious. And then we have the color. The color itself is just, well, I mean, to be fair, it's the color. Jumping on over, TLX full fender number 2. So this one's more of a kind of banding around towards side. You got those stripes down in there. Chicken lights, yes and no. Transport cover, yes and no. Keep or remove, and then your color right there. One thing to note, I did want to mention this. So right here, you see the mount this side. Well, it's not exactly true, because if I disconnect this, you can see the mount this side is facing backwards. Now, to be fair, all of the arrows face from the front of the truck to the back of the truck. So this may make sense to you. I don't know if I mentioned anything about this to 82 Studio pre-release, and I don't know if this will change. To me, this says back the truck up this way, but it also, you know, front to back kind of thing. Wanted to let you know, boom, bam, just like so. That's how it's done. So again, if you do go with that, the arrows are going to be pointing towards behind you. So you're actually going to be connecting to this side. Next, we got the half fenders. So this is just going to be showing around towards the very front. The TLX has got something kind of like this already. Chicken lights, you can add those. Transport cover, of course. This is a smaller box than the previous ones. So that's pretty cool. Moving along, the twin splits. So this is pretty cool because it is a rounded fender, which is very nice. You've got the transport cover, of course. Chicken lights come on it by default. We got those on the front and the back. And of course, the keep or substitute TLX rear. Honestly, I would say keep TLX lighting or keep TLX truck rear lights on every single thing, with the exception of one. Maybe two. One of those maybes is this one right here. This is the TLX Simple Mudguard. You can either keep or substitute those rear truck lights. We do have a couple bits here, so our main is just going to be the bit that holds, and then the rubber parts actually have dedicated colors. Honestly, this rear bumper may not be the best one to showcase this. I'm gonna change it up real quick. Here we go. We are just gonna use the standard rear bumper for this one. So we'll go and attach that front up. There we go. So that's what we're looking like currently. If we grab this guy, you're going to face the TLX facing you, so the metal parts face to the back of the truck, just like that. And I can't remember which one I selected. So if we select, there we go, it is going to be replace. So it replaces everything, and you just get that rear part added with the mats, and that is it. And this one's interesting because regardless of what you do, it kind of removes stuff. So, yeah, regardless of, I mean, that was keep. So I'll come in here and check this out. That was keep. If we go to substitute now, we select that. It's the same. So I can't really tell you which one to choose. That's just the way that one is specifically. The one I would definitely choose to substitute TLX rear truck lights is this one, the heavy duty fender. This is my favorite one. Love it. It's the only one with tail lights on it as well. Chicken lights can be added or removed. Transport cover, of course, yes and no. And then, of course, we have our color option, which goes all the way across the top. This was my favorite. I think it looks the coolest. It's actually in my box right now, right here. So we're going to bring it around, and I'll actually show you the difference on this one, too. So if we pop it, take a look, it's the substitute TLX rear truck lights. Now, you've seen what it does like that. But let's see what it looks like if we don't substitute. Need to scoot it this way a little bit more. There we go. So we're still removing the front part. However, you can see now we've got two sets of tail lights. I mean, they all work. So if you want to go with that, they ain't gonna be nobody stopping you. But you do have your mud flaps that are hanging through, and then the lights at the top. So what I would do is say substitute rear truck lights, boom, 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 boom. Then those rear truck lights disappear, the new ones are added on, and you are good. One other thing that I have noticed as well is your rear license plate disappears. And I'm not sure why. We have our license plate here, front and back, okie dokie. But for some reason, our license plate does disappear. I do need to talk to 82 Studio about that because I don't think there's any license plate options for these. It's just, you know, one of those things, easy to miss. I helped test this. I missed it too. I am to blame. Blame DJ. It's all my fault. Lastly, we have the off-road fender, which is very cool, especially for big rear tires, which the TLX can have. Of course, we got our chicken lights. There you go. You transport cover, obviously. Keep or substitute the rear lights. I would definitely keep them with this situation and this setup right here. And then, of course, we have our color, which is going to be the metal parts, but your plastic pieces that hang down are not going to change. So all the fenders look great on all the trucks, but I would personally be using the ones that we just showed off with a truck like this, whether that be with your Continentals, with your BKTs, the Nokian tire setups, for example, even Vredestein. I would definitely be using something, one of these. Well, let's see, we got an agriculture. Let me pick something that just looks awesome. I like a blue truck, so this is my thing, but I am maybe going to turn back time on my recommendation to keep the rear lights, at least with this specific bumper. I'm not quite sure it works. As you can see, I am moving these around, the front and the rear. You can move around very easily, very cool. So yeah, I mean, it works. I'm just not quite sure it looks the best. Yeah, the front looks great. Not sure having two sets of mud flaps at the back is good. That's on me. YouTubers are very, very bad at making a good-looking vehicle in Farm Sim. And just so we're clear, here's what it looks like if you substitute all of those. Oh, and there's one other one that's kind of interesting, too. If you got chunky boy rears, you can really, really do this up. Or you can bring them in. Look at that. That's very neat. Very neat indeed. I think for this truck, about here, and we're good. Then once you're all set and done, simply go up here and turn off the adjustment, and now you won't accidentally hit it. Now, I have mentioned a couple times, but I just want to reiterate, it doesn't matter what front bumper or rear setups you go for. You could also go through, maybe find some ones that you're like, you know what, it looks really cool if I have this very specific rear fender setup with design number 2 for those lights, or maybe there's a really cool one that you guys could come up with the rear PTO on here. Very, very neat. I'm sure somebody's got some really neat options to come up for there. Additionally, if you are a modder, all you need to do is go in. I believe there's a custom attacher joint between the bumpers and the front of this truck and the fenders in the rear of this truck, and you are able to use those. So that is super duper cool. 82 Studio has said any modder has permission to use the attacher joint created and make this pack compatible with their own creation. So there you go. And as far as that's concerned, I think that's everything that I can tell you and show you about the bumper pack and the fenders pack, the TLX front bumpers pack and TLX rear fenders pack from 82 Studio. The mods are out now for all platforms, so feel free to go give them a download, check them out, enjoy them, have some fun, and let me know down in the comments what other vehicles would you like to see these attachers built for. Would you like to see them on something from Lucia's Modding, or maybe somebody else? Maybe there's a favorite truck that you have out there that you want to use these on. Hey, let me know. Otherwise, just hope you have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one.